Welcome to another episode of Greatest's Let's Play Modded Minecraft series. From last episode, we left it. We were making our farming area much further down here. And as you can see, first farm was an ink farm. And we've now got 25 stacks of ink. Great. It does chew through the power fairly quickly, but when it's not running, there's no harm done. So just take this back and take it back upstairs to recharge. There we go. And it occurs to me if we're going to be, moving lots of earth out of the way, all this pick is great. It does tend to reduce in damage, durability, quite quickly when we're doing lots and lots and lots of mining of rock. So what can we do to improve that? I think it needs to be a new tool. And the tool we're going to go for, and those of you who've done this before will know what I'm talking about, is the hammer. The hammer mines 3x3 instead of 1x1. Good. But it needs parts. It needs a hammerhead, 2 plates, and a tough rod. These three, the hammerhead, 2 plates, they all take 8 of the material each. Very expensive. Tough rod, less so. So what are we going to build them out of? Well, just like the pick, we want a fairly fast hammer. So the head sections, the head and the plates, we're going to make a cobalt. So again, that's a lot of cobalt. And a tough rod, we want more damage as it gets lower in durability. We may be able to apply an electric to get that same damage even when it's working on an electric basis. I'll show you that in a bit, if it still works, that is. So the tough rod, we could just make it out of stone, but we can go for ardite because that's a little bit better at doing that. So we're going to need 3 new casts. I've not shown them on camera because it's the same as the previous process. Hammerhead cast, large plate cast, and tough rod cast. Tough rod, not the same thing as the tool rod we previously used. So I've left some cobalt cooking up and it's done. Dark blue. Let's get rid of that and let's make the hammerhead. Go. With this buffer setup, you've got to be sure, if you've got a lot of material in there, you got to do the casting quickly because otherwise it will fill up this and then dry into a block. If that happens, just put it back in the smelter. There we go. So next we need some ardite. I'm not sure exactly how much, so let's, I don't know. We could do with some ardite ingots anyway, so let's just put 5 in there, that'll make 10, and we can store the extra ingots back at the base. That's going to take a minute to cook up, so hammer, 2 hammerheads, sorry, 2 hammer plates, cobalt large plates, 1 hammerhead, and we just need the tough rod, which we'll come back to in a second. Once this is cooked up, and it's just about to finish, there we go. There's our highlight. Never quite figured why it was yellow in fluid form and pinkish red when it came in solid form. Maybe that's a bug, maybe that's just intended, who knows. Anyway, give me a tough rod. Yep, there he goes, red. No idea why. And yeah, that's not enough for a block, so we're just going to make some ingots. Yeah, I'll save you from watching the rest of that. Let's go complete our hammer. So, hammer. There we go. So mining speed is 11, just like other cobalt stuff. Attack is 3 hearts. This actually does damage to mobs as well, especially undead, where it does extra damage. 3 modifiers remaining, so let's just call it Grey Hammer. Maybe capital H. Done. Now, because I want those 3 modifiers, I also want the 4th. So we're also going to do the expensive thing of adding a modifier using a diamond and a block of gold. There's an even more expensive way of adding more modifiers, which involves a nether star. If you have a nether star at this stage, good on you. And yeah, I'll be over here crying in the corner. Also, if you have ender lily seeds, I will also cry in the corner. So now this will make it 4 modifiers remaining. Good. So what are we going to do to this hammer by default? Well, we definitely want speed, and I definitely want some lapis. I'm just going to lock in those modifiers, just like the other things, just so that we don't lose that. We're up to 7 stacks, so if I just get a couple of stacks of this, and I want 2 of these, so I just want to make it faster. So, sorry, 2 sets of redstone modifiers. Okay, and some lapis. I only need really 1 to lock it in. And what else do we want? We want the electric modifier, but we need to craft that. So let's make you faster. Now, it's already, if I just get rid of this for a second, it's already up to 15, so let's add 50 more. $19. Good. 2 modifiers remaining. We want to reserve 1, so let's just put lapis on. And that's got luck. Obviously not a lot of it because we don't have a lot of lapis yet. Now, we could put moss on it, and moss will repair it. I have a better idea. Be right back. This is what we want, but what we don't. So that's just a battery in a circuit, just from IC2. Now the idea of this is that when this gets low in durability, and let's go and use it for a second. Just clear out another space for farming. When it gets very low in durability, that stonebound effect comes into force. And if we change it to electric hammer, then there we go, 3x3, much better, and quite fast too. This will be quite quick to actually, you know, get all this terrain out of the way. Anyway, you see, obviously it's low and it's reducing durability now. When it gets low, the idea is we apply the electric effect. Then that electric effect will pick up that increased damage and stop its durability going down any further. It'll then switch this green bar to be electric power, so it'll go from full to empty, and once it's empty it'll still work but very slowly, and we'll have to go and recharge it. But we never have any durability problems from that point onwards, so right now I'm just going to use this and clear out another area for the next farm. So I went a little mad with the hammer. You can't blame me, the hammer's amazing. So we're cleaning a room out for the next kind of farm, but just while we're thinking about putting electric effects onto things, what I really want to do is, I'll have to just dig this out ahead of time. Remember how we sunk this CESU into the floor? I really don't like seeing these kind of things up in the main rooms, but we kind of need to get to it every time we want to recharge our jetpack, which is fine. But I kind of like that, or kind of automatic recharging if possible. So what can we do there? So let's set up a bit of a loop, and we're going to need to put servos in place. Whoops. By the way, if you do this, this basically means this part of the pipe is acting as the farthest most destination. This is the closest. There's kind of prioritization system. If you have two things next to each other, but you want them always to go to one first or one last, etc. So we want to pull out of that side, and we want to say all the time. So right now, this is going to do is going to pull out something out and push it back in, pull it out and push it back in. Not too handy, but if on the output we enable metadata and MBT and we set a whitelist, we add our full, make sure it's completely full, electric jetpack, meaning it'll only ever pull out a full electric jetpack. And on this one, we blacklist the full electric jetpack. So if it's full, it's never going to get pulled in. Otherwise, it'll get pulled in. Easy. So, where then do we go next? Well, I kind of want to have the chest here, I think. So let's just put down any old chest for now. Probably go this later because I don't like the boring old vanilla chests. And we don't want it to connect to that. We do want it to output, and we're going to need another servo. Menu, output everything. Now, because this is going to pull out, it's going to go back in here, but this is an output, so we also need an input to that same chest, so that there's an alternative place for it to go. It obviously can't go back in. That should be the complete loop. At least this will do the electric jetpack. So if I just actually got to put this on first, otherwise it won't charge. That should be enough. There it goes. And no, I also need to, yeah, okay, so. Okay, that's annoying. I also need a servo on the back to say let's disable this for now. Re-enable it. I need the servo on the back to blacklist the yeah, I want a white list. Only the full jetpack, please. That should be fine now, hopefully. Yeah, and it was full, so it's going to go around in a circle again. Oh my god. Right. Alright. We are going to blacklist the full jetpack from being pulled out. Let's try that again. It's not being pulled out because it's full. Good. That'll do. Whoops, need to use yeah, to make sure everything is using yeah, let's try again. Okay, down it goes. Into CSU. Back out because it's now should be charged. It's going to ignore that. It's going to head up. and into the chest. And we get it back. Good. Now, that by itself is cool. You know, we could stop there. But we also happen to have this tool rack. And the really good thing about this is we can connect ducts to it, just like anything else. So if I link this duct with this one, and I set this up right, any electric tools that we want in here, and we're going to be making some shortly, I can dump in this chest, get pulled down, we'll get recharged, get pulled back up, and ready back into our tool rack. So that every time that we dump stuff, we're always going to end up with fully charged tools, which is great, particularly when you start getting to the electric wrench. What else have we got? There's a chainsaw, there's a wrench, and there is a tree tap, and there's a couple of others. Back in a minute when I've set that up. So I crafted a couple more item ducts and pneumatic servo. Because I don't have an electric wrench yet, I'm just illustrating this with a normal wrench. Obviously this isn't going to work too well, but the whitelist for this tool rack is a normal wrench. Okay, so in this case we'd have to add the charging loop later. We got some lag. I do have some lag on the server. I may need to change that. It got pulled out and went straight back into the tool rack, and there it is. That's all good, but we do need an electric wrench to be able to charge this. Let's cover this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and we will cover. There we go. We could actually cover those back in the bottom with hollow stone covers. Yeah, let's go and do that. Because we don't want to see any ducting really. It's pretty horrible. Oh, that's just a lag on the server. One, 2. There we go. Just look, it's just saying alcove. It's not. It's actually going to be fully automated. There isn't going to be problems, and we even don't need that particular hollow stone cover. Yeah, that's wrong. There we go. That should be right. Yeah, it looks right. There we go. Tool recharging station. Which you can just test. This is one of the prime candidates, by the way, of upgrading our item duct to the faster version. Because what we gain in usefulness, we lose in the time it takes through those item ducts. There we go. All sorted. And we got our jetpack back. And speaking of an electric wrench, let's make one. Need normal wrench. Well, it can't be damaged, unfortunately. Small power unit. It's a motor we've already seen crafted. A couple of copper cables, a couple of iron item casings, circuit and battery. Nothing unusual. So we should have everything here for that. Electric wrench. Now, electric wrench has a few modes. If you hold down the mode switch key for IC2, which is usually M, but remember that it is also the map key, so you may need to redo your controls. We press M and right click, I think. Yeah, right click. If you see at the bottom of the screen, I've got lossless mode engaged and disabled, so it's enabled right now. And if you look at the tooltip, lossless. What that means is, unlike before, we had a small chance with a normal wrench. With this one, there's no chance that any of these machines will get destroyed. Much better for rearranging things. However, the downside is that it needs power now, and a lot of power. One machine will deplete most of its charge. So, what we want to do is, because we have the empty version here, we want to add it to these filters, and I'm getting lag on the server. Yeah, let me sort this lag out and I'll be right back. After a restart, now we should, because everything's set elsewhere to whitelist and blacklist for the Jetpack, this may just work, but I need a full version first, so let's recharge that, see what happens to it. It's full, so the one change I may need to make is this, whitelist, what to pull out. In this case, the full wrench. That should pull out. And I need to blacklist the full wrench too. And from that point onwards, it should go back into that tool thing, because here we're whitelisting the electric jetpack, nothing else can get in. The only thing left is that tool rack, which is exactly where we want it. Whitelist a full electric wrench. Job done. Hopefully. There it goes. I think that was some lag on the server. Hopefully I didn't just duplicate 3 electric wrenches. Yeah, I think this is definitely my connection, guys. Gonna go and fix that. It did actually turn up. So it is all working as you'd expect. Let's see if this remains in lossless mode. Hopefully it should be. Yes, it is. Yeah, we can't really use any power up without moving a machine, which I don't really want right now. So we just seal all this back in. And whenever you add another tool, so electric tree tap should be coming soon, just remember to update those filters. Job done. Automatic recharge station for tools. Okay, 2/3 of the way through the episode, and I really want to do something about this sorting. It's a bit early to do autocrafting yet, but the sorting, let's just skip it because I'm still short of Ender Lily seeds in this particular season. So what can we do? We want an ME system. To start with, we're going to go for an ME controller. Now we can just hook this up to the same power system from our lava. We're going to need advanced processor, some iron, some flux crystal, and we've got all of these components. This we just smelt. We need to make a quartz cutting knife. All straightforward. Silicon, nether quartz dust. Okay, so let's make a few silicon. One of these advanced, and then another version, exactly the same but with gold. Let's make 3 or 4 of those. Back in a moment when we've done that. Okay, so silicon we've made from smelting up nether quartz dust. Gold. Sorry, said quartz dust in my case. You can do it with the other one as well, maybe. Let's check. And our cutting knife. So we're going to make 3 of those. one of these. And we're just going to cook these up. First the diamond. Then the gold. And while that's doing, we're going to get some dusts. We want the suds quartz. Let's make 4. We want nether quartz. Do we have any nether quartz? Yeah, looks like we only have the dust for nether quartz. Great. Let's just see. So we want nether quartz. Yeah, we can get it back from the dust, but we need a compressor to do so. Fine. Let's make a compressor. We're going to need this anyway for some of the more advanced stuff. Pretty simple. Basic machine casing and electronic circuit again. So we want 9. Iron plates. We want some copper with some insulation around it. So yeah, you'll do. A couple of redstone. And we're just going to wait for the iron plates. And our plates are done. Basic machine casing, electronic circuit, compressor. So, just like before, we're going to place this here. It's linked up like the rest. Compressor. And it's building up power. Good, that's all we need. Now we need some of the dust. Another quartz dust. Where are you? I really hope I have the dust after doing this. Well, that's even more annoying. I swore I wound. Probably got them into quartz blocks, maybe? Oh, yeah, because we use it on the sword. Okay, never mind. I've got to go to the nether, and I'll be right back. Back from the nether, nearly 3 stacks of quartz later. And let's start building stuff. So, we want some more you. We're probably going to need more of these, by the way, so yeah. Doesn't matter if we make an extra 1 or 2. So we've got everything we need for the controller. Controller. Now the controller will take all kinds of different kinds of power. A power, it'll take EU, which is what we're going to supply to it. And it will take RF, I think. So for now, let's just put this down right about here. Now, within an enemy system, this is just the kind of the basic EU is what we're supplying. Within a power system, we're going to need to hook this up, probably using copper cables. Dig this out a little bit here. Let's quickly do that if I've got enough cable. May have enough, might not. Might need a little bit more. We'll see. That's annoying. Kind of didn't want this. Never mind, I'll remake this later. I just don't want to clip into this corner. Yeah, we are going to need more cable. Never mind. Particularly as I may want to go down and across Europe. And just made enough. That should be hooked all the way up to our controller, which should now be getting power. There we go. And note it uses 3 EU per tick, and that's going to increase. We're going to get into the hundreds by the time we're finished. But that's the basic unit power. We also need a drive, and we need to actually see what's going to be stored, and we're going to need some disk drives. 1 second. Now the drive is quite simple, and this is why we made those other gold processors. So we need 4 iron, 2 glass, and a chest. Let's make a chest first. 2 glass, 4 iron. One ME drive. Now we need a terminal. Two types, crafting one and an access one. The crafting one does need the access one as a component, so let's just create the access one first. Conversion matrix, that's where our other process is going to come in. Some flux dust, which is nether quartz, Cetus quartz, and redstones. Let's mix with that. Cetus quartz. Need to polarize some of this. Yeah, it's only one. Okay. This may take a while, but flux dust. Actually, do we need more than that? No, that should do. Fair enough. Okay. So another 4 iron. Conversion matrix, and we're going to need more of those. Okay, another 3 glass. And some of the cable, which is more flux dust, so good thing we had grabbed some of this. That's going to need more glass than I have. Some more glass later. So we've got the cable, we've got the conversion matrix, some glass. Yeah, so hopefully that should. Yep, there we go. One terminal. Let's see what it takes to make the crafting terminal. More stuff. Never mind. Come back to that later. There we go. ME terminal. Great. So the number of items. Yeah, there we go. So between this episode and next, I'm going to move stuff into this. I'm going to make actually a disk drive or two first. Can we do that right now? I wonder what does it take to make a 2K disk drive to start as a. Oh, it's 1K or 4K. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. So we need a knife tool back. A piece of gold. A piece of silicon. Cook that up. 1K drive, by the way. The 1K is the number of items, if you like, so up to 1,000, and the types is the number of different types of items. So we're going to need to create quite a few of these to start off with. When we've got low numbers of items, when we've got high numbers of items, then we'll move to 4K, 16K, and even 64K eventually. You're done. So we need 4 Certus quartz, this, and 4 redstone. And this is one of the reasons why I kind of said that we're going to be using a lot of Certus quartz. So hopefully you've picked it all up by now. 2 glass, 3 iron. There we go, our first drive. And you can partition this to store in only particular things, but for right now, we just want storage, and there we go. Items being stored. No money for sorting. We're just going to put all of our items into here. That's it for this episode. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.